This is ABTV, Animal Bites Television. For animal lovers, by animal lovers.
This is a magnificent Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake. And he would love to get a piece of me so that I would let him go right this second. This animal is awesome.
I'm Greg Graziani, and I've always been fascinated by reptiles, from the tiniest fragile little creatures to the enormous deadly apex predators and everything in between. Follow me into my wild backyard of Florida on a journey of exploration, conservation, and education to understand more about these magnificent animals.
In this week's episode of The Python Hunter, we head into one of my secret snake hunting locations, and I find a snake that I haven't caught within 100 miles of this location.
It's time for the Python Hunter question of the week. How many species of rattlesnake are there? A, 32, B, 64, or C, 128? Go ahead and post your answer in the comments section down below, and stay tuned for the answer later on in the show.
Today we're in one of my secret little snake hunting spots. I've caught a lot of really cool snakes and other reptiles in this area right here. From Eastern Diamondback rattlesnakes to corn snakes and yellow rat snakes. There's a lot of gopher holes. We may even get lucky and come across an Eastern indigo snake. So we're gonna check it out and see what we can find today. Here's one of the gopher tortoise holes right here. I mean, these make an excellent refuge for Eastern Diamondback rattlesnakes and Eastern indigo snakes. So we're gonna look around and see what else we can find in this area. Again, haven't found a tortoise here yet, but this is an active burrow. Snake skin right here. This is an Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. And it's still fresh. That snake just shed that skin. That skin is nice and damp. And let's see, the tail's facing this end, so that's the direction the snake went off, in this direction over here. This is awesome, awesome. Let me get this thing out of here. So this is definitely an Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake. I mean, we can see right here the diamonds going right down the pattern of this animal. And if you look close, you get tight in on these scales right here, you can see that it's a keeled scaled snake. It's rough like a file. This is the section that was against the snake's body. So on the other side of it, these scales are all gonna come up kind of to a point, be really rough. And when you look at the belly, the width of this animal, there's not another snake in this area of Central Florida that's got the girth that the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake has. And if we follow right on down to the tail, you've got the cloaca right here. And as you look down this tail, all of these scales right here are single scales, just like the rest of the belly all the way down. That tells us for certain that this is a North American pit viper, because all of our non-venomous snakes in North America have split scales coming down to the tip of the tail. And as you look at the very end of the tail, we can see where the rattle was. There's a hole in the tail. We can tell the tail wasn't ripped because of how these scales come down to a smaller size, and then you've got these two scales on the end here that go right up over the rattles. Now every time this snake sheds, creates another button to make that rattle just a little bit longer. So this snake is pretty close by. We're going to take a look and see if we can locate this animal. Rattlesnake right there up against that oak tree. This right here is my favorite venomous snake of all time, the Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake. This animal is awesome. He's just looking for a place to get away from me right now. Well, he knows I'm here. This is an animal we really want to be cautious with. The venom yield that this animal gives is massive, and it has really long fangs, so it pumps that venom deep into the muscle. The fatality rate here in the United States is extremely low on this animal because of the medical care that we have. As long as people get medical care, there's a really good chance of surviving a bite from this animal right here. Let me see if I can pull this animal out and get a better look at him. Size of this thing. This is a magnificent Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake. He would love to get a piece of me so that I would let him go right this second. This animal is awesome. This is just an awesome animal. And there's absolutely no reason for us to take this animal out of this area. Right now we've got a really remote location, so the odds of him running into people are very slim. We've got plenty of these from animal control brought to us to go to the venom lab. So we're just going to go ahead and let this guy go right back on his way in the wild where he belongs. You know, finding that rattlesnake was really cool. You know, you don't see a whole lot of venomous snakes in this area because people kill them, but this is a really remote spot, and that's why I love coming here. And hopefully we can find some other really cool reptiles in this spot today. So we're just going to keep looking. Rough green snake, check this out. Look at this little guy going through the trees right here. These guys are so cool. Now, as a kid, these were all over the place growing up. And, you know, they didn't bring much money to the pet trade, and we weren't real impressed with them. They were kind of like garter snakes. We'd see them in the trees. The cool thing about these guys is most of the snakes that I find in Florida are terrestrial. We find them on the ground. Our racers, even our rat snakes, which are in the trees, I normally find them on the ground. These guys right here take to the trees, and you really have to look through the trees to find them. I mean, they just disappear. They remind me of little miniature green mambas. They're some of the coolest snakes. And we're gonna get a hold of this little guy right here. I have never actually had one of these guys try and bite me. These are just awesome, awesome little snakes. And they're keeled scaled snakes. They're rough, just like the rattlesnakes. They're not smooth like our rat snakes and pythons. And they've got this beautiful lemon colored belly. Let's get a look at the head on this animal right here. Really, really aerodynamic. This is a really fast snake and just one of my favorites to find. And the coolest thing is, this is the first rough green snake that I've actually found in Highlands County. I've found quite a few of them down in the Everglades. I've never seen one in Highlands County before. So, you know, I know we just caught that rattlesnake and released it, but this is a cooler find for me today. We've been finding a lot of rattlesnakes recently in this area. We've got animal control bringing us rattlesnakes, but this little rough green snake is one of the coolest finds. I never expected to find this today. This is an awesome little animal. Let's go ahead and put him back in his tree here and see what else we can find. Very cool.
It's time to answer the Python Hunter question of the week. How many species of rattlesnake are there? The answer is A, 32 species of rattlesnake worldwide, and they're only found in North and South America. They range from southern Alberta and southern British Columbia in Canada, all the way down to central Argentina in South America.
Well, looks like we've got some thunder rolling in the background and we're a pretty good ways away from the truck. So we're gonna head out, call it a day. Awesome day. Eastern Diamondback Rattlesnake and that rough green snake, first one I've caught in Highlands County. Really excited about that. That'll do it for this week's episode of the Python Hunter. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and feel free to leave a comment down below and let us know what you thought about the show. We'll see you next week.
As a pro bike rider, action sports announcer, and off-road adventurer, I'm always on the go. But for my true passion as a reptile breeder, I created my own sanctuary in South Florida, Camp Kennett.
This is ABTV.